All right, so thanks for helping me do an interview for me. Really appreciate it. I've been wanting to do one of these on my channel for quite a while.
That's okay.
So I'm here with my dad. His name's Bill, Tom.
Yeah. Hi,
G'day,
Bill.
Tom. G'day,
Hi.
Tom.
Hey.
Yep.
So yeah, but just before we go into, so this interview I've arranged with Bill here, who's on the left side of the screen, is the helped in the construction of Sega World Sydney. So I thought it would be a good thing to arrange an interview with him as part of the first interview on my YouTube channel. So before we go into the Sega World specific points, Bill, what was your general background at the time of Sega World being built?
I was a carpenter. I got a job with a company called Future Tech. And we're going to do all the theming work, which was new to me, on the roller coaster to start off with.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's right, Chase. Yeah. So you were accustomed to working.
Carpenter, yeah. I was in my 40s.
Oh, okay. Okay, so can you give me some insight into Sega World's construction? Were there any interesting stories to come out of this time?
Yeah, a lot of guys. There were a lot of guys on the job, and a lot of the work was new to the men. Because theming was a thing that hadn't been done a lot up until that time. Yeah, I was on the construction of the interior of the roller coaster. It was like a large warehouse. You'll be familiar with the size of that thing, and divided up into sections. And we were given like artist's impression of what it should be like in there. Yeah, there was nothing really detailed, so it was like free reign. You know, you had to use your artistic sense to do the job.
So it's not like having blueprints and like specific measurements and
No.
and specifications on how to build things.
No, there was roughly a plan where walls should be, but it was all built around the actual roller coaster itself. You know, yeah, there was a lot of interesting things that went on there. You know, I can remember one is when I was working in the room that was completely blacked out on the roller coaster. There was no windows, no light in there at all. You couldn't see your hand in front of you. But I had to go up on the track, which was probably 30 feet up, and do some work. And as I bent down to do the work, my hammer fell out of its holster on my side. And then I heard her screaming down the bottom. One of the girl riggers that came into the room without me knowing, and it's pitch black, you can't see anything, and she was stood right below me with her hand on the track, and my hammer landed on her hand. It's split it open like a tomato.
So she wasn't wearing gloves.
No.
There wasn't really much safety aspect
No.
sometimes.
No, well, they did have guys going around, work safe guys, you know, but there was a time limit on this job. Everything had to be done quickly, and so they sort of hid in the shadows and turned a blind eye to a lot of things that were going on. You know, there was a lot of things that if they saw it nowadays, they'd scream at you. We were climbing up through the ceilings and that without ropes or safety, no safety at all. Really.
Tom, I sent you a photo of my father when he was wearing his construction gear, if you can call it that, when he was working at Sega World.
Yeah.
And I kind of work in the construction industry at the moment, and when I saw that compared to today's standards, I just laughed.
Yeah, because there's a lot of huge different safety standards in 1996 compared to now.
Yeah, the only safety gear he has on is a hard top hat and maybe some steel cap boots.
Yeah, steel cap boots. Yeah.
He's got short pants. He has no high visibility clothing. He has no gloves about him.
No, I don't like protection.
I can't see any sort of torch device or anything like that.
No ear protection.
Yeah, no ear protection. So, yeah, for 20 years ago, that's how they were doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the safety goes, I mean, one incident I remember, we were using the expanding foam and we had it in like 40 gallon drums, this expanding foam, and the pump wasn't working right, and one of the guys on our team has got his arms dipped down to his shoulders in the expanding foam, checking if there's any lumps in there, you know. I mean, that chemical, I don't know what it's in it, but he certainly shouldn't have had his arms in it. He was covered in it, you know. Yeah. Yeah, we had to put a roof over the certain sections of the roller coaster that looked like a rainforest canopy, and so we had like steel. What are the stuff they use in concrete? You know, it's like crisscross steel.
Steel rods.
Yeah, we had that suspended up there. Then a truck came in with tons and tons of tree branches from the mountain that the artists had got. And we had to climb up and put this stuff on top of the steel and web it through it so it looked like a rainforest canopy. And these things were only suspended with light chains. I'm surprised the whole lot didn't come down. But because we were crawling all over the top of it, putting these branches in. I actually got a shock off one of the lights. They had these big lights hanging up above it, and as I walked past it, it threw a spark at me and it blew my arms off. Yeah, there wasn't much safety going on.
And we got a technical issue at the moment.
We had
a problem. So on my end, it looks like. So just continue on. If you had anything to continue on.
Well, when the roller coaster was finished, the actual ride itself, the Asian guys there wanted us to test it, and so Vince and I, which was my partner on the job, we sat in the roller coaster all day right now. And they discovered at the end of one day that a couple of bolts were missing out of the bottom of the roller coaster. They said it was lucky it hadn't come off.
So a lot of the management was Japanese, is that right?
Yeah. Well, on the roller coaster itself, yeah.
And we got another problem.
Yeah.
Do you want to stop for a second, Tom?
Just continue what you're saying. It's cutting out of mind a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about the other photo.
Oh yeah.
So the other photo we sent you was of one of the spiders.
Yeah. The artists from up in the hinterland on the Gold Coast made most of these spiders and rock carvings and rocks that made out of styrene but looked like rocks. It was amazing the way they painted them. You wouldn't know the difference if you walked up to some of these walls and cliffs that we built it there, you'd think it was real stone. It was just the way the artists did it. They were fantastic. And like I said, most of the stuff was made out of styrene with like a hard coat on it, which is like a plastic coating they spray on it. And we discovered just before Sega World opened up that it wasn't fire rated, and they were talking about pulling the whole lot down.
Wow.
Yeah. But we came up with an idea of spraying this liquid on everything that was supposed to make it fire rated, but it really wasn't. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they had a fire in there, it would have been disastrous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said your primary area of work was the rail chase roller coaster.
The roller coaster, yeah.
And so how long would it have taken you to complete that?
We were there for probably 2 months, a bit more maybe, 8-9 weeks. That was building all the walls in there, so it looked like castles and Gothic kind of walls. They were all made out of styrene blocks and just glued together, stacked up on top of each other, and making archways where the roller coaster would go through. Organising the animated things that worked off solenoids, the spider and several other things that sort of jumped out at you as you were going around. We put all those in. There was guys in there putting speakers in, huge speakers, and it would have been very good quality. I don't know what happened to them all because there was hundreds of them went in that room. 10-inch speakers for the sound, get the effect. A couple of months, 2.5 months. And then we went on to do other things in Sega World, like the tower with all the white triangles in it.
Yeah.
Well, Vince and I put all those up.
Really?
That was a hell of a job.
Which tower is that? Is that the glass one?
Big glass tower up on top, like a pyramid looking thing,
The glass cone,
Yeah, well, it had all white triangles screwed into the framework to stop the sun from getting through. It was too hot in that room. So we put all those up. And then we went into the Rainforest Cafe and we did a lot of work in there.
Yeah.
We did all the ceiling in there. That was to look like a rainforest canopy. And most of it was just tree branches that were brought down from the Gold Coast inland. They back a huge semi-travel and just bought tree bits. And they went everywhere.
So in case you missed it before, Tom, my dad said that, my dad was just a carpenter, right? And he was just given an artist's impression of what they wanted the room to look like. So they would just give the carpenters all this material and some drawings, some artist paintings or drawings of what they wanted to look like.
It wasn't like a solid.
No.
It wasn't a schematic or anything. Yeah.
It was just like here's the wider vision of what he wants to say, and then but just do what makes you please, I guess.
Yeah, and hopefully it would turn out all right. But
So they were delivering large sculptures made out of styrene every day. There was Angkor Wat copies, the big Buddhas, and there was huge hands that came in, and feet and faces. There was styrene everywhere, all these sculptures. We just had to work out where everything went. All in there and all glued together. The artists came in. These are long-haired guys from the bush. They look like. Anyway, they came in and finished it all off with paint. They sprayed all the joints and they'd spray bits of green on it here and there. They looked like lichen and moss. It was very realistic when it was finished.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I remember taking Dylan for a ride on the ghost train. He said, "Is it scary? Is it scary, Dad?" Dylan was only about 10, I think, and 6. He was 6. Okay, my wife just said he was 6, and I said, "No, it's not scary because it didn't seem scary to me because I've built it all."
No, it would have been 10. Yeah, 98.
Anyway, when we got off, Dylan was very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember my dad tricked me to go on it because he knew if he told me it was going to be scary, I wouldn't go on it. Yeah. So when I went on and I realized what it was, as soon as I got off, I was just angry with him because he tricked me to go on this thing.
He was terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified. Got off it. He was shaking when he got off it.
Yeah. So just to step back a bit, we got to go to the pre-opening of Sega World.
Yeah.
That's I was about to ask. So was there anything notable about the opening? What was the experience like?
Oh, it was good. Everything was free. The food, the whole lot. It was for all the guys that worked on it. for getting it finished in time. Yeah. When you were talking about safety before, and the safety guys that on the last day we were there working on it, I stepped on the top of a 3-step ladder and got fined $500. Yeah, the Future Tech paid the fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the safety guys came out because we finished the job. Yeah.
Yeah, so the pre-opening that we went to was only for families of people who'd worked on the project, right? Dad?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only people who worked on the job and their family, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. We got to ride on everything. Yeah, and there wasn't a great crowd there. It was good.
Yeah, and I was a kid who I was really into Sega Mega Drive at the time.
Yeah.
So I was playing a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog. So I thought it was awesome that we got to go to Sega World, which was all about Sonic, and to me anyway. And yeah, that was really exciting. That there was hardly anyone there in terms of a theme park, and we got to go on the pre-opening day before anyone else, and go and see all the video games and all the Sonic themed things. It was really cool.
Yeah, like there was quite a few of those theming fixtures around the building. Like there was it was like a parachuting Sonic inside, as far as I know.
Yeah, well, when you got into reception, after you get your tickets, you go through like a time loop thing, right?
Yeah, it was like
your time tunnel, yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember it was really long, and there were lights around it, right?
Yeah, it was like you're walking through a spaceship or something.
Yeah. And I think they had sound effects as you were going through.
Yeah.
And then when you get through, the first area you hit is is it the open kind of restaurant area, or?
No, it was like an open area, and you looked around, and you could either go that way or that way. If you went to the left, you went towards the roller coaster and the ghost train. If you went to the right, you went more towards the cars with the bazookas in them, and and the
VR
what was that? Yeah, and there was a virtual reality ride.
Simulator.
That was really good, actually.
So the virtual reality, is that the one with the octopus?
We went into this thing.
There's two. There's the 3D. There's a 3D glasses one with the octopus. That's 3D ride, and then the VR one is different to that octopus one.
Okay, all right. Yeah, the last one we went on was the octopus one, and that one you had to actually they had sessions. It was kind of like going to a cinema. So they had sessions, and you'd wait outside this big door, and they'd let a certain amount of people in to the seats. And they had the moving seats in there, right?
Yeah.
It was like a kind of like a 4D experience.
I think it was spraying water on it too.
Yeah, it was 4D, and I think everyone had a gun, right?
Yeah.
So each seat had a gun, and the idea was that there was like an animation on the screen of like an octopus or something that was attacking the audience, and everyone got to like participate in shooting the octopus. I think it was an octopus, yeah. And yeah, that was the last ride we went on before we left, and I remember it was so scary that we didn't even stay on it the whole time. I think we were on it for like a minute or something because it was too scary for the kids.
Oh really? Okay, so yeah, in all, what do you think of Sega World when it was around? Was there any highlights for you personally of note in its existence?
Myself, I preferred the roller coaster to anything. I don't know if that's because I worked on it, but I thought the roller coaster was great.
I liked the ghost train. I think I ended up going on that probably 20 times in a row on the day.
Ghost train was good.
Yeah, and when you're on the ghost train, as a kid who was into like playing Sega Mega Drive, there was actually a video game on the ghost train. So as you go through the track, there's all sorts of things happening around you, but there's this theme of this like opponent that you need to defeat, and on the cart of the ghost train, there's like a screen in front of the occupants, and there's a little gun fixed on the front of the cart as well. And so the idea is on the screen they have like an arcade game, and you're supposed to shoot the gun at this opponent who's on the screen. as you go through the ghost train. So I don't know if there's any like link between the game and what was actually going on around you on the track. I don't think there was. I think they just like took this game and put it on the card and then put the card in a ghost train. So it was kind of like this, I don't know, you can choose to play the game or look at what's going on around you. And because I was a kid, I wanted to play this game. And so when I went on, I was just playing this game with this gun, and my dad kept telling me to look around at what's going on because he wanted to show me like the work that everyone had done on the ghost train. But so it was kind of a bad design idea because everyone's going to play this game and they're not going to look at all the artwork and, you know, props and everything that's installed in the ghost train.
Yeah, I think there could have been a lot more thought gone into some of the things on it, like that. You know, even the roller coaster. I think there could have been a bit more thought gone into it. You know. Oh, that was good. I could see now, years later, that things could have been a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, because they do have a lot of those kind of ghost train shooting things around the world. They have quite a number of those kinds of rides.
Yeah.
I actually spent hours on the day just playing the arcade machines.
Yeah, they had a huge collection of them.
Yeah,
because
I couldn't believe it was all free. And like, because the arcade machines have coin slots on them, but they were all unlocked and free to play. So I was on them for hours, and I remember my mum and dad kept trying to come and collect me to go on rides and stuff, but I just wanted to keep playing the arcade games.
Yeah.
So I think from memory, I was playing, it was probably like Virtua Fighter at the time. I was playing like fighting games.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see too many of those anymore.
Mum's found another picture.
We found another photo. We'll send it to you, but it's a picture of my dad with a stone golem of some sort. It's styrofoam, is it?
You can actually see the blocks there. They're the blocks that I use to build things. You see the blocks down the bottom?
Yep.
They're the size of the blocks that I use to build all the walls and castle effects and the Gothic effects.
Yep. So what ride is that on?
I think that's the Ghost Train.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but I think that was in the Ghost Train.
Yeah. So to my knowledge, Tom, these three photos are the only photos that exist inside of Sega World during its construction.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very interesting.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other photos on the internet of inside Sega World during the construction.
No, there's not many photos. Some of it's exterior, but there isn't really much in general.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've just been sitting in our family photo albums. So.
Yeah.
I took a camera in that day just to get a few shots. I probably had more photos, but I didn't keep them. Didn't think they'd be important.
That sucks, but anyway, that's what these things happen.
Yeah. When they finished work and it was ready, we said, like, okay, everything's finished. There was a lot of sculptures and things that had been sent there that weren't going to be used, and they said, does anybody want them? And nobody had a car big enough to put them in. There was huge faces and rocks and trees and things like that they weren't going to use, and they just dumped it. There's been a lot of work gone into them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a shame. I would have loved to have grabbed something.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they just demolished the whole building. So.
Yeah.
That's awful.
That was an iconic building of Darling Harbour. And I went to Sydney in 2007, which was the year before it was demolished. And got a photo of it then. I didn't know it was about to be demolished, but it just stood out amongst everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does stand out compared to the other buildings, especially where everything's all like glass now. Those glass
Yeah. I can't think of. I was hoping you'd have a lot of questions, but I can't think of anything else to tell you really about it. It was a good job to be on. It was a good bunch of guys. The company was Future Tech.
Yeah.
I believe they've done some theming in other parts of the world, and they just hired us as to do this job. You know, there was a guy there from Future Tech, you know, pointing us in the right direction and things like that, but we didn't see a lot of them. So we just went ahead and did what we thought we were going to do, what we thought was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it all turned out good in the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was all new to us.
Did you have any more questions, Tom?
No, I didn't have any more questions. So to say, thanks for helping me do this interview for my channel. It's my first one, obviously, and I'm really happy to do this. So thanks for coming on the show, and yeah, good to speak to you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Bye.
See you.
See ya. See ya. Alright, so just completed the first interview for the channel, and yeah, it's a good thing, to be honest. And yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you later with the next episode.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. If you're new to this channel and missed out on the last video, click on the thumbnail on this video or in the description below. If you like my content and want to see more, like, comment and hit that subscribe button down below.